How many brilliant cars have appeared, only to vanish before they had a real shot? How many bold promises from the American auto industry were shelved, canceled, or quietly forgotten? Behind these impressive projects, some seemingly from the future or born of ambitious dreams, are stories of failure, disappointment, and decisions that redirected the course of automotive history. Now imagine this: vehicles that could have transformed highways, entire cities, or even the way we drive, erased due to technical flaws, lack of vision, budget cuts, or simply fear of going too far. Have you ever wondered why some of America's most incredible creations never made it to the streets? Get ready for a real journey through the hidden side of American engineering. Because today, we're diving deep into what went wrong with the boldest vehicles the United States ever tried to build, and ultimately scrapped. Stick with me. Because the last one on this list is so unbelievable, it almost sounds made up. Tucker 48. In 1948, the name Preston Tucker was etched into history as the man who dared to challenge Detroit's biggest automakers with a car far ahead of its time. The Tucker 48, also known as the Torpedo, built in post-World War II America, this model emerged in a climate of optimism and innovation. Tucker set out to redefine the American family car with cutting-edge safety, performance, and technology. Its rear-mounted, helicopter-derived inline-six engine had 5.5 liters, roughly 334 cubic inches, producing around 166 horsepower and over 450 newton-miles of torque. That was impressive for the time, 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 10 seconds, with a top speed close to 118 miles per hour. It featured a pre-selector manual transmission, allowing smoother gear changes, and four-wheel independent suspension, which delivered outstanding ride comfort for the 1940s. Rear-wheel drive completed the dynamic setup. Visually, the Tucker 48 was stunning, with its aerodynamic shape and signature third center-mounted headlight that turned with the steering wheel. It was wide, bold, and packed with clever design choices. The rear engine sound gave it the steady hum of a turbine winding up. It was meant to be the safest family car ever built, and had features like seatbelts, a pop-out windshield for crash safety, and a front trunk designed to absorb frontal impact. Innovations that wouldn't become standard for decades. Despite everything, the project was halted before full-scale production. Only 51 units were ever built. Why? Pressure from major automakers, allegations of fraud, financial trouble, and a highly publicized federal investigation. Even though Tucker was cleared of all charges, the damage was done. Today, surviving Tucker 48s are prized by collectors and preserved in museums as symbols of interrupted innovation. One prototype even sold for over $2 million, a price that reflects what this car could have become, but didn't. Think that one was canceled too soon? Just wait until you see what's next. GM Firebird 1, 2, and 3. Between 1953 and 1959, General Motors set out to leave the road behind, literally. The GM Firebird 1, 2, and 3 were experimental concept cars built to explore gas turbine power and radical futuristic design. The first Firebird, launched in 1953, looked like a rocket on wheels, a single-seater with a missile-shaped body inspired by the jet age. It used a gas turbine engine capable of around 370 horsepower, with rear-wheel drive and a lightweight tubular frame. Projected top speed, over 186 miles per hour. Firebird 2, released in 1956, pushed further with a titanium body and a fully automated cabin, positioned as a family car of the future. Then came Firebird 3 in 1959, which doubled down. It had two engines, one gas turbine, and one electric motor to power its electronics. Joystick controls, self-leveling suspension, and even early autonomous driving capabilities. The turbine sound was deafening. The look? Straight out of a sci-fi comic. Gull-wing doors, moving fins, and an aerodynamic shape that made every other car look ancient. But none of these cars were built for mass production. They were purely experimental, GM's vision of tomorrow. Ultimately, the massive cost, insane fuel consumption, and instability at high speeds led GM to shelve the program. Today, the Firebirds live on in the Henry Ford Museum and the GM Heritage Center as relics of a future that never came. Few know that Firebird 3's autopilot was designed to talk to sensors built into the highway, and this was back in the 1950s. Enjoyed that glimpse of a canceled future? The next one's a truck, but not like anything you've seen before. Ford Big Red. In 1964, Ford wanted to change the way the world saw trucks. Enter Big Red, a futuristic double-decker concept rig powered by a gas turbine engine instead of a diesel one. Developed in the US, Big Red was a long-haul machine with around 600 horsepower, colossal torque, and a top speed of nearly 81 miles per hour. Extremely impressive for a truck at the time. It had 3 axles, a multi-gear automatic transmission, rear-wheel drive, and full air suspension. It was engineered for long-distance comfort and smooth highway cruising. Visually, it was like a ship on wheels. Over 46 feet long, featuring panoramic glass, a brushed steel finish, and a 2-story cabin that looked more like an airplane cockpit. Inside, it had a bed, fridge, TV, and even an intercom system. Everything was designed for drivers to live on the road in comfort and style. Ford intended Big Red to be a showcase of what trucking could become, but it never went beyond the prototype stage. The tech was too advanced, the cost too high, and the infrastructure simply not ready. The truck vanished for decades, leading many to believe it had been destroyed. It resurfaced in the early 2000s, fully restored, sparking renewed admiration for a concept that never became reality. Think that one was bold? Wait until you meet GM's answer to it. Chevrolet Turbo Titan 3. Launched in 1965, the Chevrolet Turbo Titan 3 was General Motors' response to Ford's Big Red, another gas turbine-powered truck, but with even bolder styling and space-age technology. It used a GT309 turbine engine, generating around 280 horsepower, with extremely high torque, perfect for hauling heavy loads. Its top speed hovered around 75 miles per hour, with smooth, jet-like acceleration. The Titan 3 had a hydraulic-coupled automatic transmission, 4-wheel air suspension, and rear-wheel drive, designed for effortless highway performance and driver comfort. Its design was futuristic, a streamlined cab, hidden headlights, a curved windshield, and styling cues taken from sports cars. Inside, it felt like a fighter jet. Backlit control panels, aviation-style switches, external sensor displays, and a pilot-like driver's seat. The Titan 3 aimed to prove trucks could be powerful, efficient, and futuristic. But once again, cost and complexity killed the dream. The turbine alone was prohibitively expensive, and maintenance required skills most truck shops didn't have. Today, the Turbo Titan 3 is displayed in museums and referenced by designers as a milestone in concept trucking. Rumor has it, one of the engineers behind it later joined NASA. That's how advanced the tech was. And if you thought that was wild, the next car on this list is a rolling piece of art. Dodge Diora. In 1967, Chrysler unveiled one of the most visually daring automotive concepts ever made, the Dodge Diora. Based on the Dodge A100 pickup, it was radically transformed by custom builders Mike and Larry Alexander into a street-legal sculpture. Built in the US, the Diora kept the original chassis, but was completely reimagined. You didn't enter through the sides. The entire front lifted like a jet cockpit, revealing the cabin. Power came from a 2.8-liter inline-6 engine, producing around 145 horsepower. Torque was modest, top speed around 93 miles per hour. It had a 3-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive. The suspension was lowered to hug the road and enhance its radical stance. Its sound was subtle, but the visual impact was massive. Gold metallic paint, custom wheels, and a flowing design made it look like a land-based spacecraft. Crowds would stop in awe at car shows. Despite being a functioning vehicle with 2 seats and a redesigned dashboard, it was never meant for production. It was created as a showpiece. Yet its popularity was so strong that Mattel made it one of the original Hot Wheels cars in 1968. Today, the Diora is a pop culture icon and one of the most recognizable American concept cars ever made. Enjoying this deep dive into America's forgotten prototypes? Then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the wild stories we've got lined up. And speaking of bold, the next car could have challenged Ferrari and died before it had the chance. AMC AMX3. In the late 1960s, American Motors Corporation, AMC, set its sights on the world of supercars. That's when the AMX3 was born. A sleek, aggressive sports car designed to go head-to-head with Europe's finest like Ferrari and Lamborghini. And yes, it had American DNA. The project was a collaboration with legendary Italian engineer Giotto Bizzarini, formerly of Ferrari, and featured a body designed by AMC's visionary styling chief, Richard Teague. The goal? A European-style supercar with an American heart. It packed a 6.4-liter V8 engine, cranking out 340 horsepower and about 580 newton-meters of torque. With a 4-speed manual gearbox, it could launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds and top out at over 155 miles per hour. With its mid-engine layout and fully independent suspension, the AMX3 had razor-sharp handling that could rival anything coming out of Italy. Rear-wheel drive gave it a raw, connected feel behind the wheel. It looked the part too, low, wide, muscular. The sound of the mid-mounted V8 echoed with authority, and the minimalist interior focused entirely on performance. Low seating, a wraparound dash, and chrome accents gave it a sense of exclusivity. But despite its performance and striking design, the AMX3 never made it to production. AMC was facing financial troubles, and the cost of getting the car certified for the European market was just too high. Only 6 hand-built prototypes were ever made, all of which became collector's items. One of them sold at auction in Germany for more than $1.2 million, a price that reflected the sorrow of what could have been America's true entry into the supercar league. Like that blend of American muscle and Italian finesse, the next one stayed hidden for years, and almost predicted the future of pickups. Jeep J10 Extended Cab Prototype. In the 1970s, pickups were booming in the US, and Jeep, known for rugged off-roaders, decided to experiment with a concept that was way ahead of its time: the J10 Extended Cab Prototype. Based on the Jeep J10, this concept offered something rare back then: a stretched cab with extra space behind the front seats, and a body redesigned for more utility and comfort. Under the hood was a 5.9-liter V8, making around 195 horsepower and more than 400 Nm of torque, paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. It had 4x4 all-wheel drive, solid axles, and semi-elliptic leaf springs, ready to tackle any terrain. While it looked like a classic 70s pickup, the proportions were better balanced. The stretched cab and upgraded interior gave it a refined look and feel. The V8 had that deep, hollow rumble typical of old-school off-roaders. The idea was to blend work and leisure, tough on the job but livable for the family. But at the time, the market wasn't ready. A truck with luxury features felt too far-fetched, and Jeep didn't have the resources to mass-produce it. The prototype was scrapped before a launch ever happened. But years later, extended cab pickups would become a standard feature across all brands. Interestingly, only one documented unit of this prototype is known to exist, and it's stored in private hands, not in a museum or on public display. A true ghost of innovation that showed up way before its time. And if something this practical was cancelled for being too different, imagine what happened to the most iconic car of the 1980s. DMC DeLorean. You can't talk about cancelled American cars without bringing up the legendary DeLorean DMC-12, a vehicle that became a symbol of broken dreams, scandal, and of course, pop culture immortality. Released in 1981, it was the vision of John DeLorean, a former GM executive who wanted to shake up the auto world with something truly unique: a stainless steel body, gull-wing doors, and a futuristic look. Built in Northern Ireland using American engineering, the DMC-12 had a 2.8-liter V6 engine producing 130 horsepower and around 210 newton-meters of torque. It was developed in partnership with Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo. The performance was underwhelming: 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 10 seconds with a top speed of 109 miles per hour. It came with either a manual or automatic transmission, rear-wheel drive, and independent suspension on all 4 corners. While the numbers weren't thrilling, the looks made people stop and stare. The brushed stainless steel finish was like nothing else on the road. But delays, build quality issues, and poor management plagued the project. The final blow came in 1982, when John DeLorean was arrested in a drug trafficking sting. Though he was later acquitted, the brand was shattered. Only a bit more than 9,000 units were ever built, but after starring in Back to the Future, the DeLorean became a cultural icon. Incredibly, there's now a plan to relaunch the DeLorean as an electric car, aiming to turn a legacy of failure into a new beginning. Buckle up, the next concept truck was so aggressive, even Americans thought it went too far. Ford F-150 Lightning Rod Concept. In 2001, Ford gave its best-selling truck a futuristic, sporty twist. That's when they unveiled the F-150 Lightning Rod concept, a radical reimagining of the F-150 that looked like it came straight out of a cyberpunk movie. Revealed at the Chicago Auto Show, the Lightning Rod previewed trends in urban design. It packed a 5.4-liter V8 with 380 horsepower and around 610 Nm of torque. It could hit 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, blazing fast for a pickup. It had an automatic transmission with a sport-tuned setup, fully lowered suspension with adjustable shocks, and rear-wheel drive. Built to hug the ground, it was made for the street. Its looks were bold: beefy bumpers, 22-inch wheels, copper accents, and pearl finish paint. The cabin was just as futuristic: integrated displays, ambient lighting, and synthetic leather bucket seats. It made a visual statement, but Ford decided it was too aggressive for the average buyer. The market wasn't quite ready for a muscle truck with concept styling, and the project was quietly shelved. Still, design elements from the Lightning Rod later influenced Ford's performance trucks, and in hindsight, it was one of the earliest glimpses of what performance pickups would become. The concept last appeared at a closed Ford event and has remained tucked away ever since, silent but still menacing. If you thought that was wild, wait until you see the most powerful canceled car the US ever created. Chrysler ME412. In the early 2000s, Chrysler took aim at the laws of physics with one of the most extreme supercars ever imagined. The result was the Chrysler ME412, a monster built with insane power, cutting-edge tech, and design that turned heads worldwide. The name stands for mid-engine, 4 turbochargers, 12 cylinders. That's right, a 6.0-liter quad-turbo V12, sourced from Mercedes-AMG. How powerful? Try 850 horsepower and 1,150 Nm of torque. It had a 7-speed automated gearbox that shifted in under 200 milliseconds, hitting 60 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds. Estimated top speed? Over 236 miles per hour. It featured active suspension, the chassis made of aluminum and carbon fiber, and rear-wheel drive. The whole package weighed just 2,888 pounds, lighter than many modern sedans. It looked like a fighter jet on wheels. Aggressive aero, razor-sharp lines, thin taillights, and a 2-seat cockpit. The V12's scream was deafening, metallic, and utterly ferocious. The ME412 was showcased at global events and graced the pages of car magazines, but was suddenly cancelled. Chrysler claims the production cost would be too high. Others believe Mercedes-Benz blocked it, worried it might compete with its own hypercars. The only working prototype was locked away for years. Today, it sits within Stellantis' private collection, with no signs of ever returning. And according to insiders, a Chrysler exec once said the car was so fast they decided to shelve it, for safety. These weren't just cars. They were dreams on wheels. Bold ideas that broke the rules, pushed boundaries, and nearly reshaped the future of American motoring. Each one carried more than just engines and torque. They carried a vision that was shut down. From Tucker's quest to reinvent safety, to Chrysler's supercar that scared its own creators, we saw what happens when ambition meets resistance, and how a canceled car often says more about the times than the machine itself. Now tell me, if you could bring one of these machines back, which one would it be? Which one blew your mind? And which one would you drive without thinking twice? Drop it in the comments. I want to know which of these canceled legends still lives in your imagination. And hey, if you enjoy content like this, smash that like button. It tells YouTube this video matters and helps more car lovers discover it. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, because every week we dive deep into the most mind-blowing machines that challenge time, tech, and sometimes common sense. See you in the next video.